Hello and welcome back to English Edge, the podcast where we dive deep into the mindset, the language, and the motivation you need to grow, not just as an English learner, but as a human being. I'm John, and I'm really glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it's one of the most powerful forces behind any kind of progress. Whether you're trying to improve your English, build a new habit, start something creative, or change your life, I'm talking about consistency. So take a breath, slow down, and let's explore what consistency really means and how it can change everything. They say greatness is not what you do occasionally, it's what you do consistently. When you hear that, it might sound simple, almost too simple, but think about it. Behind every strong body, every fluent speaker, every thriving business, every deep relationship, there's one invisible force at work. Not talent, not luck, not intelligence, just consistency. We live in a world obsessed with quick results. Everyone wants to go viral, to get six-pack abs in 30 days, to speak fluent English in a week. But that's not how real progress happens. Real progress is quiet. It's boring. It's doing the same thing over and over again, even when you don't see any change, even when you feel like quitting, even when nobody is watching. Let's just take a step back. Imagine a person who decides to get in shape. They go to the gym for 2 hours. They sweat, they push themselves, they eat healthy all day. Then they look in the mirror. Nothing changed. So the next day, they skip it. And the next week, they forget they even started. Now imagine someone else. They go to the gym for just 30 minutes. Nothing intense, just a basic workout, but they do it every other day, for a month, for 6 months, for a year. It's not flashy, but over time, their body transforms, their energy improves, their confidence grows, and the world starts noticing what they've been building in silence. That's the power of consistency. It's not about intensity, it's about repetition. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. We're wired for short-term wins. That's why diets fail. That's why people quit learning languages. That's why dreams get abandoned. Because we expect fireworks after lighting one match. But consistency isn't sexy. It's not dramatic. It won't impress your friends on day one. But it's what builds results that last. Think about language learning. You can study for 8 hours straight once a month, or you can study 30 minutes a day. Which one wins in the long run? Always the second, because the brain needs time, it needs repetition, it needs steady input. Fluency doesn't come from cramming, it comes from showing up. Consistency also builds identity. Every time you do something again and again, you're telling yourself, this is who I am. You're not just reading a book, you're becoming a reader. You're not just going for a run, you're becoming a runner. You're not just recording a podcast, you're becoming a creator. Small actions repeated over time shape who we are. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's not about never missing a day. It's about always coming back. You can fall, you can pause, you can have bad days. What matters is that you return, that you don't let failure define the end of your story. There's a reason habits are so powerful. Once something becomes automatic, you don't have to fight with yourself every time. But to get to that level, you need to be consistent, at least until the behavior becomes part of your rhythm. Some people think they need motivation to stay consistent, but actually it works the other way around. Consistency builds motivation. The more you show up, the more momentum you build. And the more momentum you build, the easier it gets to keep going. It's like pushing a heavy wheel. At first, it barely moves. You push and push, and it rolls an inch, then two, then three. Eventually, it starts rolling on its own. That's momentum. And you earn it by being consistent, even when it's hard. There's a beautiful quote that says, "Water cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence." That's exactly what consistency does. It doesn't look strong, it doesn't make noise, but over time it changes everything. In relationships, consistency means showing up for people again and again, not just during birthdays or special occasions, but in the everyday moments. That's what builds trust. Not grand gestures, just regular presence. In creativity, consistency is the key to finding your voice. You can't write one page and expect to be a novelist. You can't upload one video and expect to go viral. But if you write every day, if you share every week, if you create without waiting for inspiration, your craft grows, your audience grows, you grow. We often underestimate how powerful small efforts can be when they're sustained. A few minutes of meditation a day can change your stress levels. A quick journal entry each night can sharpen your clarity. A daily walk can shift your mindset. But we don't do these things because they feel too small, too insignificant. So we do nothing, and we stay stuck. Here's something to remember. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And your habits are built through consistent action. You can dream all you want. You can make vision boards, set intentions, write affirmations. But if your daily actions don't align with your dreams, nothing happens. Dreams require discipline, and discipline is just consistency in motion. Now let's talk about resistance, because when you try to be consistent, resistance shows up every single time. Your mind will say, "It's not working. You're not good enough. It doesn't matter. You can skip just this once." And that's the moment that defines everything. Not the easy days, the hard ones. The ones where you show up tired, uninspired, doubtful. Because those are the days that compound. Those are the days that build mental strength. And no one sees those moments. No one claps when you study quietly. No one cheers when you practice alone. But if you keep going, one day they will. They'll say you're lucky. They'll say you're talented. But you'll know the truth. You were just consistent. Here's the paradox. Consistency is simple, but it's not easy. It asks for patience, for trust, for showing up when results are invisible. It's a silent promise you make to yourself. I will keep going, even when it's not fun, even when no one's watching, even when I don't feel like it. If you can do that, if you can honor that promise, you will separate yourself from 95% of people, because most people quit. They look for hacks. They look for shortcuts. You're not doing that. You're building something real. So the next time you feel stuck, ask yourself, what would happen if I just stayed consistent for 90 days? Not perfect, just steady. No overthinking, no extreme goals, just one step a day. Because that's how transformation happens. Quietly, gradually, through 1,000 tiny steps that no one sees. One day you'll look back and realize that the person you became was shaped by the days you thought didn't matter, the days you showed up anyway, the days you didn't give up. That's the real power of consistency. It doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you, not just for listening, but for showing up. You could be doing anything else right now, but you chose to be here, investing in your growth, your mindset, your potential. That matters more than you think. If today's episode spoke to you, take a moment to reflect. What's one thing you can do, just one small thing, to move forward with more consistency? No pressure, no need to be perfect. Just one small action repeated over time. And remember, you don't need to be extraordinary. You just need to be consistent. The rest will follow. I'm John, and this is English Edge. Stay kind, stay curious, and above all, keep showing up. Talk to you soon.